All right, we have Erin Blanchfield on the show. And a little over 2 weeks ago, she lived up to her nickname in a big way when she knocked out Victoria Leonardo with just one of the nastiest head kicks you'll ever see. A huge win for Cold-Blooded at Invicta FC 39. Erin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I need you to be honest with me here. How many times have you watched that video of the finish? I don't head kick people, but if I did, I probably would have accounted for half the views myself.
Yeah, honestly, I've watched it so many times I can't even count. Because it was just like popping up. People were reposting it everywhere, so I just kept seeing it. But yeah, it was awesome.
I'm not sure how much like MMA and combat sports you watch outside of your own fights. Like some fighters will consume everything, others will stay away from it altogether outside of their respective careers. But if you do watch a lot of fights, where do you think that knockout ranks in terms of, early knockout of the year rankings for 2020, in your opinion?
I mean, I'm biased, so I think it's probably one of the best ones so far this year because it's only February still, so it's definitely one of the best ones that we've seen. I'm sure we'll see other great ones, but that one was pretty dope. So
yeah, I think you may be in the conversation for KO of the year at the end of 2020, but that's just me. That's just what I think. But being a non-high kicker like myself, I guess walk us through that kick and what it felt like. Like allow us to live vicariously through you for a moment if we could.
Yeah, well, I practiced that kick a lot in training because like we were watching video on her and she tends to drop her right hand a lot. So we were practicing that kick over and over again. So when I did in the fight, it worked perfectly. It was exactly what I was doing in the gym all camp. And I hit her the first time and she was super tough and she was able to recover. But then the second one, I could just see her whole body went limp and I know she wasn't going to get up after that one.
Did you know it? Like, could you feel it at that point? Like you could see it, but could you feel it? Like you were just like, ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, especially the second one because I hit her and she just like literally the first one she fell backwards, but the second one she literally just collapsed, like her body just like went limp. So I mean I followed her because you have to keep fighting until the ref stops you. But I could definitely feel that the fight was over.
Biggest win of your career to this point? I mean, notoriety wise, there's no doubt about it, but was that, I guess, the most satisfying win thus far?
Yeah, I think it was definitely my most exciting win. But yeah, it was a great win.
I'm sure after nearly 3 weeks, you might still watch the video a time or two, but you probably put the win behind you at this point. You're ready for the next one. I know Invicta has that Phoenix Series event next weekend, but I believe they're going to be coming back in May from everything that I've been hearing. Is that the target for you unless that phone call comes? And I think you know what phone call I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, unless that phone call comes, then definitely want to get on their May card. Yeah, I think Shannon already put it out there. I think it's like May 29th, so I'm definitely aiming for that card. Yeah, I fight whoever they want me to. I definitely want to get back in there as soon as possible.
So this is the first time you and I have spoken, and you're about to turn 21 years old in May, and man, what that would feel like to be 20 years old again. But how did this crazy world of mixed martial arts begin with you? Because I love these Genesis stories.
Yeah. So I started training when I was 7. My little brother was training before me, and I went to go watch a class. And they like gave me an introductory class, and after that I was hooked. I was training like kickboxing and like no-gi jitsu for like about a year, and then I started competing in like little local tournaments. And I loved competing. I loved the challenge, and I loved like getting better. So once I was like 12, 13, I started competing in like the women's divisions, and I was doing really well. And then around that time, I saw like UFC and Ronda Rousey and stuff like that, and I decided I want to do this, and I've been pushing ever since.
We're seeing this sort of next generation of fighters coming up and, who are 19, 20, 21 years old, sort of like yourself. And it can be pretty hard staying on track, like keeping that focus, especially at your age where everyone's going out and they're partying and they're doing things they probably shouldn't be doing. But I guess how do you balance that all? Like being a professional athlete, having some sort of a social life, et cetera. How are you able to balance all of that?
For me, I have a few friends that are also like, that grew up being athletes or are very focused people. They're not like doing what normal college kids, I guess, would be doing. So I hang out with I have a small group of friends, but we're really like close. And I'm really focused, this is what I want my future to be. So that's really motivating for me that each fight I want to put on like my best performance and just keep getting better. That's what keeps me motivated.
So when you keep getting those wins and you get a highlight reel finish like you just had, you got to be thinking to yourself like, man, I'm making the right decisions here. Like all this hard work, these sacrifices that I'm making as a 20-year-old, they're all paying off. Is that accurate?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I mean, I hang out with my friends once in a while, but nothing compares to that feeling of getting in there and putting on performances like that.
You're in no rush to get to the UFC, right? Like it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. There's no need for you to focus your time shouting from the rooftops and tagging all the matchmakers that you're ready. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get in as soon as possible, obviously, like anybody else. But I mean, I'm not gonna like complain about it or act like I deserve to be there before other people. I'm just gonna keep putting on performances and be undeniable, and they'll take me when they do.
What do you think the biggest lesson you've learned so far in your career? Because you're not even near your prime yet. You're only 20. You still got like 8 or 9, maybe even 10 years before you hit your athletic prime, which is just crazy to think about. What do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned in the fight game thus far?
I guess like after every fight, I just analyze it and try to break down win or lose. There's always things to learn, and always improvements to be made. So just staying like open to learning and trying new things in training, and then being able to utilize those in your fight.
Are there any specific coaches, fighters that you work with on a specific basis that you're sort of glued to try to sponge off of them and get all that information and learn those lessons along the way as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have my coaches. Like I train at Henzo Gracie Academy, which is filled with a bunch of killers. Like there's so many people there. And then I have a few gyms in Jersey. I get trained at Silver Fox, BJJ, and MK Muay Thai. So just everybody. I'm always training with a lot of great people and really high level people. So I'm always soaking everything in.
Do you feel like with the win in May, if it all comes to fruition here, do you think that call's coming in 2020 if you're a betting woman? Maybe even a contender series shot this summer if everything sort of pans out? Do you see that coming this year?
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening, especially if I get another great performance in May. I could see contender series or just being called to the UFC, whichever came first, honestly. I'm ready for whatever. I mean, at this point, I just want to fight the best people I can fight and just keep putting on great performances.
Are you looking up and down the roster right now, sort of feeling these women out at this point, just taking a look at them?
Yeah, I mean, I always watch every UFC event pretty much. Like every weekend, I'm sitting here watching literally from like the UFC fight past prelims to the main event. So I watch all, like, especially, and then I obviously focus on the female flyweights. But yeah, I'm always keeping tabs and seeing who's out there.
Who do you think wins next week, Joanna or Zhang Wei Li?
I think that's a good fight. Honestly, I haven't watched enough of like Zhang Wei Li's fights to know. She seems very athletic, but Joanna's a really good like volume striker. So I think it'll be interesting to see how their styles like clash. But if I had to choose one, I think I might choose Joanna. I think just like the experience.
Yeah, so, Zhang's had a lot of difficulty even just getting to the United States, and there was talks this fight wouldn't even happen. So I'm glad that it is. This is one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most. As you're sort of consuming all of this fighting and just sort of looking these girls up, and these could be potential opponents of yours. I'm not asking you to talk trash or anything like that, but is there any 25er in the UFC right now you're just like, I hope one day I get to share the octagon with them because it would just be a fun fight?
I mean, no one particularly. I mean, I'm always watching, and I know that I can compete against any of them. Really, I just want to keep performing and get there eventually, and I'll be able to prove myself then.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing this progression continue for you, Erin. You're off and running here, and like we said, you're not even close to your athletic prime yet, which is a scary thing to hear if you're a fellow flyweight in the MMA world. But great chat with you, Erin. Appreciate the time. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on social media. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest? The floor is yours.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Blanchfield_MMA. And just thanks to all my gyms, Henzo Gracie, NYC, MK Muay Thai, Silver Fox, BJJ, Cadorba trained. Yeah, that's it. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Congratulations on the win, Erin. Thank you for the time and look forward to seeing you back in there soon.
Cool. Thank you.